Hi, good evening, and welcome to SSN SLU Sports Night. This evening it's episode 13, 13 weeks of SSN. Remember, our new day, of course, is Wednesday, 8 p.m. local time. I know some persons were looking out for the show Monday just passed, but of course, we've shifted to Wednesday and at 8 p.m. local time. And this evening, we're going to have a short discussion. We're gonna take in some of your questions. You could send in your questions. You could send it over to slusportsnight@gmail.com. Again, slusportsnight, that's NITE at gmail.com. You could send in your questions. Remember to follow us on Twitter. That's at SLU Sports Online. And also on Facebook, you could get us SLU Sports Online on Facebook and follow us from there. So basically, this evening we have some discussion on cricket, West Indies cricket. Remember, West Indies and India, they start off the one-day series. Of course, that's starting 4 o'clock St. Lucian time, 4 a.m. in the morning. So those of you who want to get that game and want to see the start of that game, I guess you could get some rest right after SSN and wake up early to see that one. In terms of football, we did see Portugal and Sweden. Of course, this was one of the games, the game you could say of two huge stars in football, Cristiano Ronaldo from Portugal and Ibrahimovic from Sweden. And unfortunately, one of them would have missed out of next year's World Cup in Brazil, and the person missing out, of course, turned out to be Ibrahimovic. So we had quite a bit happening locally as well. We had the OECS Cycling Championship, St. Lucia taking silver in this one, and it was a very close one. St. Lucia could have easily taken the gold medal. You had Kurt Mirage, of course, well-known St. Lucia cyclist, doing well and doing St. Lucia well, alongside his brother Cook and many other cyclists out there. And Kurt came in second, of course, picking up the silver for St. Lucia. And Antigua, they ran away with the gold for this one. St. Lucia also did well in the younger age and also picked up silver there as well. So in terms of basketball, we will be getting some information from Ken. Remember, he is one of our hosts. He will be in with us tonight over the phone, and we'll definitely be getting some information from him in terms of basketball, what's going on in the NBA, etc. So basically, we're going to take in your questions once again. We ask you to sit back, relax, enjoy, and of course, communicate with us. Tell us what you think, whether it be about cricket, whether it be about football, etc. So just as we move through, we're going to have with us very soon, we're going to have with us Ken on the line. So just giving you guys some time to get your questions ready so that you could send it to us, and that we can go ahead and answer your questions and go through your comments. So we're going to get Ken on the line so that he can discuss some stuff for us when it comes to basketball. Hi, Ken, you live with us on SSN?
Hi, good night.
And I know that some of the viewers, they really don't miss you on the show, but we did have some persons asking about Dyer on the last show. We probably had one person asking about you, so you have a supporter out there. So just wanted to let you know that.
Okay, thank you, and good night to all the viewers out there.
And Ken, we just wanted some information when it comes to basketball, some updates in terms of the NBA. What's going on? What's really happening in terms of the NBA?
Okay, the NBA season, as you know, just began earlier on in the month, and for some teams, they have played in excess of 9 to 10 games. So things are just starting to pick up more or less in the season. But there have been a couple of surprises. As you know, it's the NBA. There's no definitive there's no team that is expected to take it to the final level and be crowned the NBA champions next year. What's happening so far is that in the Eastern Conference, we have Indiana Pacers being number one in that conference. Okay. I know right now everyone is expecting the defending champions, Miami, to probably do a three-peat this year. But like I said, we have some teams that are looking red hot and are looking ready to contend with the Miami Heat, who are currently champions in the NBA. It's not surprising. We have a few surprise teams who are not doing too well right now, in the likes of the New York Knicks, who are currently ranked one place before last. That is behind the Milwaukee Bucks. They are just one game ahead of last place Milwaukee Bucks, and they are not doing too well right now. And it is a surprise to most of us NBA fans out there, because New York Knicks, those the likes of players like Carmelo Anthony, Omari Stoudemire, and they should be making some noise in the Eastern Conference, but they don't seem to be doing too well right now. Also, the Brooklyn Nets, who are just ahead of them, they were a team who acquired 40 years, Kevin Garnett. They also were the likes of Deron Williams. They were also another team who were supposed to be contending with the Miami right now for top positioning. However, they have lost 7 games out of the 10 games that they have played so far. So it doesn't look too well for them right now. Hopefully, later on in the season, they can pick up. In the Western Conference, the San Antonio Spurs is doing what they usually do year after year. They have started off to a very good start. They are currently positioned at number 1 in the Western Conference right now.
So Ken, your team is Los Angeles Lakers, right?
Well, my team will always be the Los Angeles Lakers. They are not doing too well right now. Actually, they are currently in position. They are currently in position number 11 in the Western Conference. That's 2 places out of playoffs at this Saturday. So currently they are not doing too well. However, there have been some great moments for them. They have won 5 out of the 12 games that they have played so far. So they are almost, let's say, close to winning 50% of the games.
Someone just sent in something saying that it's an understatement what you just said, that Los Angeles Lakers they're not doing too well.
Some people say it's an understatement. I think it's expected. Doing like right now elected to join the Houston Rockets.
Weren't you guys asking for him to leave? Wasn't he said to be useless? Wasn't he useless?
Well, some people believe that he was not playing up to the standards that we expect from right now. But however, he was useful in some areas, for example, rebounds and so on. But being a defensive stopper, but I wouldn't say he was also very useless. It's just that he was not playing up to his potential. And right now, it can be said the same thing as since he's been in the Houston Rockets, even the likes of James Harden, do most of the scoring. Teams have actually developed
Yes. What you saying? Go ahead.
Yes, teams have even developed what we call a hacker-like technique, whereby they foul him on purpose so that he has to shoot 2 free throws, and he usually picks both or doesn't make one of them. So that is costing his team dearly.
So now that we actually have you on with us, I know that you're enjoying your short vacation, and we look forward to you coming back on the show. But we wanted to ask you one thing, and I know Dyer would have really liked to be there when I was asking this. Dyer, we were looking to get him on tonight, but unable to. He actually said that he wouldn't be able to be there this evening. Remember, they're actually 1 hour behind in the US right now. Yeah. So in terms of I know he would want to bring this up, so I'm just bringing it up to you right now. Arsenal, Manchester United winners. You saw that one coming?
I saw that one coming a mile coming.
No, I didn't hear what you say.
I saw that one coming a mile away.
You saw that one coming?
Yes.
Why did you think that your team Arsenal would lose?
Well, last year at the same point in time, Manchester United defeated us 8-2. Yes, 8 goals to 2 goals.
That was in football, or was that football or basketball?
That was, if I remember, against football. A team scoring 8 goals, and we only scored 2. We tried to put up a defense. And right now, compared to that, one not seems like a win for Arsenal.
Can I ask you something? How many points did the 8-2 give Manchester United?
How many
points did the 8-2 give Manchester United last time around?
Well, it gives them the same 3 points that they have received this time around.
Yeah, so they got the same 3 points, and Arsenal got no points from the game, right? I recall you saying the point is a win is a win, whether it be by half a goal, right?
Well, we don't have goals in football. But the point I was trying to make is that Manchester United did not make any significant changes over the summer. Arsenal didn't bring in Ozil. However, Ozil is only one football player.
But remember, Arsenal have quite a bit of the guys' feet that they never had the privilege to have them playing together, like the Wilshere and the Ramsey. Flamini coming inside, so it was more than just Ozil, really.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Flamini has been a backbone for the guys in terms of central midfield. But then I don't think he was featured too much in the game played over the weekend. But moving forward, we know that the lone goal was scored by a past Arsenal player, one who was developed in Arsenal, and we wish him well in his future endeavors.
Yeah, and it's something that you Arsenal supporters do a lot, wish the guys well when they've left and they start winning trophies. So I look forward to the day that you guys would be wishing Theo Walcott well when he goes out to win trophies elsewhere.
Well, actually, on the ground, we are hearing that Walcott is ready to sign up with Arsenal again. So
he didn't do that yet?
Yeah. On the ground, we're hearing that Walcott is ready to sign up again with his current club, Arsenal.
Well, we know that contracts nowadays have the loopholes, and I mean. A guy signs a 5-year contract, and within 2 years he leaves the team. So good luck with that one. So Ken, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Anything you'd like to say just before you leave? Last words.
I want to thank you for making me on the show tonight. I wish you all the best going forward, and to all new basketball enthusiasts. Keep watching the show so that you can get all your latest info on what's happening in the NBA, also in football. If I'm not around, Hassan will be there beating you. And hopefully I'll be back with you guys very soon.
Yes. We're hoping to get you back on the show next week into the following week, if not. So see you then. Enjoy the rest of your time out there. Continue to help your school in terms of the basketball. I'm not sure if they're still in the competition, having the type of coach that they have. But but we wish you the best, and look forward.
More information will be coming to you to the show.
We will have Mr. Pierre on the show next week, so he will give me that information.
No problem.
All right. Enjoy.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. So this was Ken with us, and I mean, I don't know if you guys at some point you heard the dog in the background. I mean, was really in total disagreement with most of what Ken said. I mean, so I'm not too sure if you had any viewers who had that same, shared that same sentiment and thought that, a lot of what he said about Arsenal really, you guys, I mean, know that really was not something that you should take seriously. I mean, Arsenal, really good team, playing really well. They lost that game. They got no points from it. I'm sure that they would have loved to get something from it. They have Southampton coming on the weekend. Yes, they're playing at home, but Southampton has shown that they're no pushovers in the EPL this season. You have Everton and Liverpool, big one coming up, and Liverpool will definitely be hoping that they can get some points. And yet again, the teams are like Chelsea, who facing West Ham, the Liverpool, Everton, Arsenal facing Southampton, those City facing Tottenham, big one. These teams are looking at, I mean, not giving up more ground, because Manchester United, after being low down on the table, they're now fifth, and if anybody slips up, if those teams again they lose some points, playing Cardiff on the weekend, Manchester United has a great opportunity to go up the table. So right now, Arsenal, they see pretty on top, but that's what makes the EPL all the exciting. Anyone can just lose a game at any given time, and I know that the persons who follow La Liga and say that La Liga is the best, it depends on what you rate as the best. So that the Spanish teams play awesome football. Sometimes the English teams can't really keep up to their type of football. But when it comes to a league that's exciting, we know that the EPL does bring that, and the huge upsets and excitement. So we know that we have some football coming up this weekend. So I know that you guys will definitely be checking it out, all the football enthusiasts. So in terms of cricket, remember, you guys, just to let you know, our viewers all over the world, of course, especially here in St. Lucia, beautiful island of St. Lucia. Yes, just getting some questions in already. We're going to go through those questions shortly. We are live here on SSN, SLU Sports Night, and you guys could send in your questions to SLU Sports Night. That's SLUSportsNite at gmail.com. You guys, you could put your name. You don't have to put your name. If you put a fake name, just make sure it's a name that I could say out there online, or I won't say the name. But we just ask you guys to send in your questions, make your comments, and we look forward to having a great episode 13 with you guys this evening. So we're just gonna get a question here before we go into the one-day match, to talk about a one-day match between West Indies and India. The question, it goes, that's from Timothy. Timothy, you guys, viewers, you could also put the country that you're from. That will help. So if you do want to put it, you can. If not, that's okay. But Timothy, he asks, can Shivnarine Shanapal make it to 200 tests? I would say that it would be a tough one for him, because definitely, I mean, 50 test matches in this day and age is going to take some time. we in a situation whereby we hardly get 5 test matches in a series. Normally, West Indies would get 3, 2 test matches because, of course, with the entertainment aspect of cricket, one day and T20s are what's really the catchy thing right now. And to have made it to 150 test matches and at the age of 39, 40, you're looking at another 50, which looks like probably another few years of Shiv Narayan Chanapal. And we do suspect that Shiv is coming closer and closer to the end of his career. He may not want to step down, but it may have to be a decision that West Indies cricket would have to take at some point in time. There are some youngsters out there who may be needing the opportunity to go out there and prove themselves. We may have to find a slot for someone else on the team to give someone else the opportunity. Some persons may say, we should keep him as long as we can, and that's a good thing to say. But another thing that we can look at is that West Indies have not been doing too well in test match. I mean, yes, we won our past 5 test matches before we lost the series against India, but in terms of the top teams, we've not been doing as well as we should. And whether we have Shiv, if we're not doing too well, might as well give someone else the opportunity at some point in time. We have Gio Ryan who's knocking at the door, but you want to give other guys the opportunity to prove themselves at the test level. So there are other batsmen out there like the Brathwaite, and the others who would love to get the opportunity. So Shiv making 200 tests, I will not bet on that. I cannot say no because anything can happen with Shiv Narayan Chanapal, but my opinion is it doesn't look like it's going to happen. 150 he's gone to 150, which is a great milestone, and that's a lot of test match cricket in a number of years that he has played tests. So of course we witnessed another great leaving the game. That's Sachin Tendulkar. He and Brian. Unfortunately, as Sachin said, he wished he had gotten more opportunity to bat with Brian Lara. They got to bat together once, actually. That was in Toronto, and it was a team, 11 team, which played a Pakistan team. And he and Brian, they batted together. And he said that was a really good experience. And he knew from day one when he saw Brian that he was something special, and Brian said the same thing about Sachin. The respect that these two have for each other is just a really good thing. I mean, when you look at the question that some persons would ask, who is better? Who is the better batsman? Was it Brian? Was it Sachin? And it's one that is going to be subject to debate. I mean, there's so many things that you could say. Yes, Sachin has been better in, and there's so many things that you could say that Brian has been better in. If you want to see someone who just gets you all excited with his flair, and you see Brian. If you see someone who's going to get you excited with just his pure, majestic timing, you look at Sachin Tendulkar, and you want to see someone who, goes out there and gives you some good scores consistently. Some people say, okay, Sachin. If you want to see someone who gives you consistent big scores, you'd say Brian. So you could wait out. And Brian, of course, has a few records, personal records. So does Sachin. So we have quite, that would be quite a debate for some time. But I know that these two, they respect each other, and I'm sure that they see the other as the best batsman that they actually seen in person. Sachin will tell you Brian, and Brian will tell you Sachin Tendulkar. We have another question, and that one goes to it's John. Ronaldo's play is carrying Portugal. Your thoughts? Well, I could say he did carry Portugal into the World Cup on that last game, so that's something. And I think Ronaldo basically has a point to prove. Whether Messi got injured or not, I think he had decided already he had a point to prove. And the reason being, he relieved himself from the pressure. He said that, hey, he's not going to win he's not going to win the Ballon d'Or from FIFA. He's not going to win that. So he's just taking the pressure off himself, and he went on to just give and show the world what he can do. And getting that one goal in the first leg and the return leg away, he got all the three goals for Portugal, which gave them a 3-2 victory in the second leg. Coming back from 2-1 down, that was an outstanding performance. The 4 goals over the 2 games, and completely overshadowing Ibrahimovic. And it would have been sad one way or another, but I think that the better team made it into the World Cup finals in Brazil, and I think that Portugal being there is definitely a good thing for football. Sweden, yes, they've got the Stein, Ibrahimovic, they've got 1 or 2 other players, but you just think that Portugal has more to show and more to prove. And I know that Ronaldo, along with the coach and the team, they are a team to watch in the World Cup, and they are there to prove that they deserve a place among the top teams in the world. Yeah, so as we wait on to get some more questions and comments, I just want to go through the Indian squad. Of course, we have the captain and wicketkeeper Dhoni, Ashwin, Dhawan. Of course, want to watch Dhawan and Ashwin with his spin, and Dhawan, of course, with the bat. Jadeja, of course, was one time known as the most dangerous T20 bat all-rounder at one point. You have Kohli, of course. One could see that he would be the one who takes up the mantle of Sachin Tendulkar living. Kumar, Mishra, Mohammad Shami. Of course, Mohammad Shami really played well in the Test series against West Indies, and he keeps a spot on the one-day team. Reina, we know Reina has been there for a while, and he is there in the team. Rayudu, that's of course given a chance to play for India in this team. Sharma, you have both Sharmas in the team. Rohit is there as well. Rohit Sharma. You have Kumar. He's also on the team. Yuvraj Singh is also part of the squad, and Unakat is also part of that squad. As for West Indies squad, the 11, of course, will be chosen from this set of players. You have the captain, of course, Dwayne Bravo. Remember, he captains the one-day team. Tino Best, Darren Bravo, Johnson Charles. Of course, from St. Lucia, he's the wicketkeeper in that team. So you look like a definite pick there. Gianarine, Chris Gale, Jason Holder, of course, one that I really was wondering where is he for the Test series after bringing on Contrell, and then you had having to bring up Gabriel. That was just a surprise to me that you have a German in the one-day squad. You might have well brought him up to finish that Test. And I'm not even going to make mention of why this guy wasn't on the Test team. The next guy, Sunil Narain. And then, of course, you have Purmal, Kiran Powell, Dinesh Ramdin, Ravi Rampal, of course, another one you wonder why he wasn't given the opportunity in the Test team. And I heard that it's because, of course, he just was recovering from an injury. But really and truly, if he's recovering from an injury, he needs to just, if he's fit to play that one-day series, he should be allowed to play the Test. If he gets injured after the first, second day, okay, well, so be it. There's nothing saying that he cannot get injured playing the one-day series. But I really feel that West Indies did miss a trick. I'm not sure if we got our selection right for the Test team. And of course, it did put pressure on the next man I'm going to mention, of course, Darren Sammy. Of course, you're as good as your team looks, unfortunately for captains at times. So Darren, of course, his capability was put under pressure because his team didn't do well. So he would be under scrutiny in terms of his batting and bowling. So that showed, and it showed that he could be in big trouble in keeping his spot on the West Indies Test team. But we know that he has great character. We know that he comes back and he keeps firing. So let's see what does happen if he does get an opportunity and is picked for this game. Of course, we have Marlon Samuels and Lender Simmons wrapping up the West Indies squad for today as well tomorrow's game, today's game in India, you could say tomorrow's game in 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 the West Indies, our time, 4 a.m. Remember, this game starts our time. So we have a question here. Um, it's from St. Lucia, Kevin. He has Darren Bravo, 1 century and 2 half centuries in last 21 innings. Has his talent been overrated or just a bad stretch? Um, there's one thing to say his talent has been overrated. I will actually say no. His talent is not overrated. Just like Samuels, everybody knew Samuels had talent, and he's only now showing it. The thing about Darren is that he's been put under a certain amount of pressure early in his career. Remember, he's been compared to the great Brian Lara. Looks like him, plays like him, related to him. But even with this, he played well at that point in time. But remember, like we could say, Brian Lara's innings, with a team that is not as strong as, let's say, Sachin Tendulkar's team or Steve Waugh's team, is under real pressure because you don't have the quality that those other guys have around them. You don't have the help, right? So with Darren Bravo, I mean, coming in at number 3 and sometimes, of course, may go down number 4. It's almost like what Brian had to do. It's almost like he had be an opener at times. So it's just about he not being able to, of course, adjust to those situations enough. He's definitely going through a bit of a dip in form, but we do know that as talent is concerned and how he's rated, we know that he's something special in the West Indies, and you could tell because you find a lot of persons, if he does not score some runs, they're quickly to jump on his back because they know what he's capable of. He's one of the better batsmen that we have in the West Indies currently. You have the young Kieran Powell also showing what he's capable of. These are 2 batsmen who have a bit of pressure on them, especially when you have the likes of Chris not performing at his best currently, and Darren having to come early. And the good thing for that is that Samuels and Shandapal have been there to back it up in terms of the lower order and help them through. But it's some pressure added on Bravo at times, which he may not be at a stage that he can really handle enough. But most of the time we see Darren get off to a good start, take a lot of deliveries, and end up throwing his wicket away, really. Something that Brian probably could pick with him about Brian, being able to concentrate for long periods, and probably this is just one thing that Darren needs to do. So, but it's a matter of time before he starts clicking again. And I'm going to tell you straight off, he's one to look out for in this one-day and T20. Well, one-day series. I'm not sure if he does get a chance in the T20, but he's one batsman to look at once given the opportunity for West Indies. So we have, of course, some more stuff coming in, comments, etc. But before we get into them, we'd just like to, of course, make mention of some of the sponsors on SluSports Online, and of course, remember that nothing said on this show is the sponsors have nothing to do with this. It's the opinion of the host, and they just interested in, of course, ensuring that sports is up to a great standard in St. Lucia, and you get shows and you get to see athletes like these. So we'd like to mention, of course, National Printing Corporation. We'd like to mention Calabash TV. We'd like to mention Computer and Business Services. We'd also like to mention Chef Mikey, Sammy's Bakery as well, Eagles Freight Services. We'd like to mention 300 Customs, St. Lucia Hospitality. Of course, we'd like to make mention to them as well. So we'd like to of course, thank you viewers out there who you also make the show a reality. You also make the show what it is. Thank you for sending your questions and your comments, and keep them coming as we go through this evening. So we just have a few minutes left on the show, and we're going to take, of course, a few more questions, a few more comments, and we're going to take it from there. We had Ken on with us earlier. For those of you who missed the earlier parts of the show, you could always, of course, watch the show after it's done. Ken came on, gave us a bit of the NBA. He told us how Los Angeles Lakers, of course, that's his team. He told us that they actually underperforming, and of course, someone said that it was an understatement by Ken. So if you did miss that one, we also had some information on football. We spoke about the Arsenal Manchester United game, and that was sometime back looking at it. And we did discuss what's coming up this weekend. Of course, to make mention, those of you who didn't know, St. Lucia came second in the OECS Cycling Championship, with Kurt Mirage coming second. Antigua, they just edged out St. Lucia for gold. And I know that the cyclists did, have a good time. People did come out to support. It was a very entertaining race, and just like to ask and have the guys to continue to push the sport. We have guys who are really at it, guys who've come back. Stoney, persons who know him as Tony Winston, he's really into the sport. You have a gentleman by the name, nicknamed Dookie. He's also coming back and going out there and helping the youth and trying to get some more guys out there in the sports, in cycling, sorry. So that's a really good thing. Just to remind you guys, we have schools action, school sports continuing, and we have the likes of the basketball, the football, the netball going on, and it's something that you guys would want to check out. Usually the games are at the VG Sports Complex. When it comes to the basketball, netball, that's where they take place, and of course the football around the different grounds around the island. You go support your school, support your team, your former school, and enjoy what St. Lucia has to offer when it comes to local sports. Okay, so just want to ask, we have a question coming in. Okay. Okay. Yes. So basically, we just have one or two questions that just came in. We're gonna get to them, but there is a particular question I'd like to get through. Once we get it on the screen, I'm gonna go through it. There's a particular question that just came in not too long ago. We're gonna get it in, but we'd like to again make mention of local sports, and we know that there are persons in St. Lucia who really look at boosting local sports, and that's a good thing. We've had persons who've done it for years. We've had persons who still doing it. We've had persons who were doing it before. Of course, they've gotten to a certain time in their life where they've passed it over to someone else. But we like to see that our local athletes continue to work and to work and do the best. You just have to work to get better, and as you know, getting better is what's right. You want to get better each day. Just get better. Just get better. Just get better. And we had one of our guests, Bradford Worrell, national swimmer, who he could not have said it any better, and he did make mention of that. We had on one of our episodes, Makiba Alcid, she made mention of that, putting in the effort. So you have many of the athletes who've been featured on SSN. They've sang that same type of song, to work at to work on what you're good at. You know what you're not good at. Of course, you will work on that, but you just get better by working on what you're not good at. Get better at it, but you need to improve what you're good at. So that's another thing. So sportsmen and sportswomen, that's one thing that, of course, we'd like to keep in mind when we go out there to represent our clubs and, of course, our country. So while we wait on to get the question up on the screen, just ask the producer if you can get a question on for me. Okay. So, okay. Question again from one of our guys who asked a question earlier on. Looks like he's both into football and cricket. His question is, are players like Lara and Sachin too good to coach? They can't relate to players uh, without exceptional ability. Um, he's basically asking, of course, being that Brian Lara and Sachin are two greats at the game, can they really relate to the players who don't have that special ability or exceptional abilities? Can they really coach a team? And the answer to this is relative. I mean, who knows? Brian could be a good coach. Sachin could be a good coach. But what I need to let you know is not because they are great or they were exceptional doesn't mean that they can only coach guys who have that same capability. One thing to note is that they can create great players as well, because you can only. It's good to learn from someone who's walked the walk. It just only depends on their ability to coach, because not every great player is a great coach. Maybe the best way of a great player to coach is just by being quiet and letting someone see what you do. Of course, players have seen them on television, but it's something that I can't tell you if they are good coaches. But what I can say is that the fact that you're asking whether they're too good, of course, that nobody's really too good to be a coach. It's really about your ability to lead, your ability to listen, your ability to relate to the persons that you lead. And the ability to make it fun and to make it a system, because everybody for success there needs to be a system. So you could see that. I mean, Brian, he traveled with the team, the Trinidad team, and we saw how well they played. I'm not saying it was because of him, but the team did say that he had a part to play. Now, remember, he was not a coach; he was just a mentor. So coaching also includes how you can motivate the players. So, and I believe that these two guys are great motivators. They don't even have to open their mouth, and they can motivate a team. So motivation aspect of it, they're not too great to motivate a team. And coaching, of course, deals with more than just motivating. But as I said, to answer your question, they're not too good. But I know that the question was asked because you have a lot of great players who are not coaches and a lot of great players who are not given the opportunity. And we wonder why the greats are not coaching West Indies cricket team. You know, well, again, that's something that I can't answer. That's something that the decision makers know why, and the persons, of course, like the Brand, the Courtney Walsh, etc. They know why they have not applied to be coaches or like what have you. But I know that some of them do coach certain teams. Some of them do continue to be motivational speakers. Some of them, persons just choose what aspect of what aspect that they want to take up in life after they stop playing the game that they love. And for sure those two guys are ambassadors, and whatever they do from there, it's up to them. Yes, so John, I trust that I did answer your question clearly. I did make myself clear enough. But thank you for your contribution to the show. Thank you for your questions earlier on. We have another question or comment coming in. Yeah, so basically, SSN, SluSports Night, episode 13, our 13th week on SSN, and we have episode 14 next week, Wednesday. We do expect to have our guests in for next week. Next week is a show where we will have guests. So that's one thing we do enjoy. One or two shows, of course, we don't have any guests in, but the shows with the guests are the shows that I know a lot of you can't wait for. The show with the athletes, the show with the management of different clubs, management of sports, etc. And we're expecting, of course, just like last week's show, next week's show, we have guests, and you're gonna be in for a treat. I would like to thank all you viewers. I would like to thank persons who sent in the questions, who made their comments. I would like to thank you guys for viewing. I would like to thank our sponsors. We'd also like to thank and our well, my co-host who is not in this evening, and that's Ken. And we'd like to give a shout out to Dyer, of course. He was looking to see how he could, be with us over the phone this evening to say hello to his fans out there. But unfortunately, time was really not on his side, being 1 hour behind us right now. So we'd like to shout out Dyer, and we'd like to shout out all the guys on the SSN social group on WhatsApp. We'd like to give a shout out to you guys. We'd just like to wish everyone a wonderful evening. And remember, you could send in your questions even from after the show. We will get them following week to SLUSports Night. That's SLUSports NITE night at gmail.com. Also, we did make mention of a segment coming very soon called The Trick That Thrills, and it's something that the producers at SLUSports Online are working on to get going. So I was asked to just let you guys give you guys the email address where you could send your videos. It's SLUSportsOnline@gmail.com. It's SLUSportsOnline@gmail.com. You send your videos of different tricks that you do in any particular sporting area, whether it be basketball and you play football on a basketball court, or you do some trick with volleyball, etc. But you send it in, and every week a winner would be chosen, and of course prizes to be won. And that's something coming up sometime in the future on SLUSports Online, looking at starting off the new year with Trick That Thrills. So we'd like to once again thank you guys for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening, and see you next week, Wednesday, same time, 8 p.m. local time, for SSN episode 14. So this is where we sign out on episode 13. This is your host, Hassan Eriste. Good night.